What's going on? It's your boy Will McCraven coming to you another day with another video. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Um, Without that being said, I'm gonna dive right into this. Um, there's a tendency to people want to think that marriage is the finish line. Well, um, yes, marriage is a finish line. Is it the finish line? No, but it definitely is a finish line. And it is a finish line that you want to make it to if you want to have uh, financial freedom for your children and build wealth that way. It is a road to that. But if you don't know what the heck it is you're doing, if you don't have any discipline and the right people around you, then it will be a financial disaster. But it is definitely a finish line. And in order to get to that finish line, you need to have certain things in your internal reservoir. That way, once you get to that finish line, there's something to draw from. Because what happens when you get to a finish line, and any time it's like a race or something, you're going to need to replenish. And if there's nothing to replenish there, then that finish line is not going to be what you thought it was. Because once you cross the finish line, then you're on to the next thing. You're on to the next meet, the next contest, or whatever it is that's next after that. It doesn't just end there. That's not an end goal, and then it's over with. No, it's like phases. So, in order to get to that finish line, you have to prepare yourself. And you have to be preparing yourself for the individual who may end up choosing you. So once that happens, it has to mesh well. It has to be just like my fingers, moving and twiddling and doing all types of thing and using this mouse and getting it over here. Okay, now we're working together. So you go from being, we'll use it as a track meet. You go from being in a race for the 100 meter to now, or we'll say the 100 meter or the 200 meter. You're racing and you're winning the race, and all of a sudden you get to the finish line. You've made a name for yourself. Blah 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 blah. Next thing you know, that marriage now turns into a relay team. Now you're working together. You're not in this lane and they're in this lane. No, you're in the same lane competing against other individuals to get to the next finish line. And then that next, once children start happening in the marriage, now you have to keep training for those children. You now have to see what your weaknesses are and were in order to improve, because now you have to train them. And this is a different form of what I've said before, but it still is a similar thing. Children expose who you were. So in those track meets that you won, the competition gets stiffer. Why? Because now, once you've now entered into the relay round, you have the best of the best over with those individuals too, and they're now competing with you. So you need to know your weaknesses, and you can only know your weaknesses if you were paying attention to the past. And if you weren't paying attention to the past, you can't improve. You're now become the weak link within the relay team. And if you're the man being the weak link, that's a real serious problem. But if you're also being the woman that's going to be the weak link, you're going to have individuals trying to come up to you and say, hey, join our team, join our relay team. We'll treat you right and do all this other stuff. That creates problems, that creates issues. So yes, marriage is a finish line. It is not the finish line, the ultimate thing where, okay, now it's over and done. It is a finish line, and we move on to the next phase. But before you can get to that phase, you have to be in a position to be chosen or want someone to be a part of your team. So as the woman, it's for her to be chosen. As the man, you have to have enough. You have to have enough in order for a woman to turn around and be like, all right, cool. I want to join that. He's got something going on. I like that over there. Or her family sees like, or friends and family see like, hey, did you see so and so and so? I think y'all will make a great couple or a great team. And the next thing you know, y'all yoke up and see if this can work. But even in it working, it's like before you get to the marriage, you're going through the preliminaries. Like it would be like with Team USA. All right, we putting all these people together. We're going to see if y'all, such and such going to make the team. You got to make the team. If you don't make the team, you're not getting to the marriage part. And then you're not moving on to the most important part, which then when you start to get to that upper echelon, you really have to know who you are and who you've been. Look at old tapes. That which would mean look at old past things that you did and take a recollection of what you've done to be accountable, to being able to improve. And if you're not doing these things, you can't make the proper improvements. You can't really start saying, oh, okay, like, people, it's like saying sports, oh, he the GOAT. You can't make that statement about yourself. You're just mediocre. Or, fans today, they say, well, even though that individual, that athlete may be better than them, like, oh, he trash. That's what they were like, oh, nah, he trash. Then your adversaries, those who are not fans of yours, will be looking like, we saying, oh, he trash. Oh, you know what, girl, you can do better than him. Let me do such and such and such. I can do such and such and such. Whole time they more likely can't. They just, couch coaches is what they call it. They like, oh, come on over here. They want to coach you onto the other team. But yes, marriage is a finish line. It is not the finish line. It is a finish line. And you want to get to the next phase. You make it to marriage, you want to get to the next phase of where you and her or he and you are examining yourselves, counting up the cost, and understanding that life is going to have a fight. Life was a fight for you to get here. Your mother's life was on the line, and you had to fight to get through that canal. It was a fight and a push to get to the. No, that's what I always say. It's a push. It's a push for you to get here, and it's a push for you to stay here. Now, I don't know why I said fight, but that's wrong. It's a push for you to get here, and it's a push for you to stay here. She had to push you out, and you got to push yourself to keep going forward. So even in marriage, it's going to be a push. You just can't sit and linger around and sit in a chair like, oh, I'm the king or I'm the queen, and everyone kiss my hand and kiss the ring or whatever the crap and become subject. That's not how it goes, man. It's you gotta keep pushing to the next phase, and you gotta keep working. You're gonna be doing that for the rest of your life. Even when you get old age, in your old age, what are you pushing and fighting for or working for to stay alive? And that's usually a lot of older individuals will do that for their grandchildren. They keep living for their grandchildren because their grandchildren enjoys them. It's a push. So, yes, keep working, keep moving to the next finish line because there's always going to be another finish line. And when you cross that finish line, know that people were watching you and they are taking bits and parts of your life and making it their own, which is why it is very important that you give it your all. Don't just quit or complain about what's going on. Keep pushing through it. And with that being said, it's your boy, Will McCraven. Be easy, of course. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. Always be paying attention. And maximize everything that you do. And with that being said,